out in the garden today, and we have a couple of new raised beds out here that we just built recently, and one of them we built specifically for, in the long run anyway, specifically to do only potatoes. So this particular bed is 5 foot by 10 foot. Normally I wouldn't make a bed so wide because I need to be able to reach into the middle, but for something like potatoes that aren't going to require a lot of fussy care, I can deal with getting things planted a little bit at a time as I can, and then I don't have to do very much until it's time for harvesting. So I'm okay with that, and I wanted to have one bed that we could fill just with soil. If you've been following me, you know the other raised beds that we did in a hugelkultur style, so they're filled about halfway with logs and bark and branches and anything that can compost, and then we put a garden soil that I purchased locally on top of that. For most crops that will be fine for this year because they don't need a lot of depth in the soil. So potatoes, though, obviously are an underground crop and they need space. So we have this bed that's going to be just for potatoes in the long run. This year I was not able to find enough seed potatoes to fill the whole bed. A good portion of it though, and the rest I will put other root crops in. Before I get started planting potatoes in this bed, I need to amend the soil a little bit. This is a garden soil mix that I bought locally. If I remember right, it does have some compost in it already, which is good. I'm going to add some worm castings and a little bit of fertilizer and work that into the soil before I plant. I don't really have enough worm castings to really have enough for such a big bed and do it right, but I'm going to use what I have, and hopefully something is better than nothing, and I will be able to fertilize as the season goes on as well and make sure that these potatoes get all the correct nutrients. So this year what I was able to find for seed potatoes, I was only able to find in small bags, and I did find at least 3 different varieties. Well, I guess it's more than 3 varieties, but 3 different bags. So we've got 2 little bags of these Kennebec potatoes, basically a kind of a gold potato. There's 5 in each of those bags, so we'll have 10 total. I'm not going to cut these apart, I'm just going to plant them whole. Hopefully we'll get more than one plant out of them, but we'll see. And we got these Adirondack blue kind of purple potatoes. 2 bags of these, and they also have 5 each. And then we got 2 of these bags. They're calling it Harvest Blend. They're basically, I think, fingerling potatoes, and they're yellow, red, and blue or purple. We have 2 bags of these. These have 9 each in them, so 18 total of those. With the remaining space left in this bed, I also have some onion sets that I've been waiting on. These are yellow Stuttgarter, kind of looks like a traditional yellow onion, and it doesn't say how many are in here. I mean, it's a nice little baggie full. I don't know if I can get all of those, probably not in this bed. Then we have some white snowball onions, another good sized baggie of those. These ones are starting to sprout. And we have a red Carmen onion. Some of these are starting to sprout too. So today the goal is to get all of the potatoes planted if I can, and some of these onions, and basically fill this entire 5 foot by 10 foot bed, I hope. All of the variety of potatoes that I have here, the recommendations for spacing is 10 to 12 inches in the row, and if they give a recommendation for between rows, it's 3 feet. Because I have raised beds and I don't need a walkway, there really isn't any reason to leave 3 feet between rows. I use basically a square foot gardening method for all of my planting, so these will just be 12 inches apart all through the bed, you know, evenly spaced, you know, as much as I can reach to do evenly spaced. So 1 per square foot, one potato per square foot. I expect some of these will grow more than one plant probably, so in the end it probably won't look like a lot of neat rows, but you know, we're just going to kind of throw them in there and see what happens. So I just kind of eyeballed that. I probably should have measured and put string lines. These rows are not exactly evenly spaced, but I'll try to make up for it a little bit on planting. I'm not super worried about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you want yours perfect though, you should measure across your bed, put some string lines as your guides.
This moment, gonna lay here on the grass. I don't need to feel lonely. I am finally home at last. And I don't mind being gone on adventures for a while. No, no. 'Cause the best thing about it is I know I'm coming back. Oh, oh. Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where my heart is. Oh, you know it's true. No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you. Been walking down the street so many times, my feet know every brick and stone. Could wear a blindfold. No matter what I do, I'm coming home to you. And I don't know why, don't know why, don't know why, I'm always feeling homesick. Oh, all I know, all I know, all I know is this is where my heart is. Oh, I have seen many places where the beauty never ends. Different cities, friendly faces, and perhaps I'm going back. But I don't have to be chasing every dream that I have. Oh.
Okay, all the potatoes are in, and just went down to the greenhouse and got my square foot tool here, and I'm going to use it to space out these onion sets and see how many I can fit in the garden. It's really good, at least for me in particular, to do this, even though it might kind of be difficult for me to take the time and spend doing something physical. It's only going to make it better for me later if I get used to doing more work more frequently and build some of those muscles and just get some general exercise.
Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where my heart is. Oh, you know it's true. No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you. Been walking down the street so many times, my feet know every brick and stone. Could wear a blindfold. No matter what I do, I'm coming home to you. And I don't know why, don't know why, don't know why, I'm always feeling homesick. Oh, all I know, all I know, all I know is this is where my heart is. Oh. Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where my heart is. Oh, you know it's true. No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you.
I finished planting out all of the potatoes that I have and some of the onions, and I got basically all of the red onions in here and a little bit of my white onions. I still gotta find places to plant more onions, and I still have 27 tomato plants to go out, and probably even more than that of peppers. So we got to build another bed. I do have a few spaces in some of the existing beds here, so I will be filling those up pretty soon, and then I'm going to be out of space. So then I'll probably start filling containers. Well, we got to build the one more bed. I might not need too many containers. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, onions and potatoes actually only took me, I don't know, an hour and a half or two. I don't know what time it is right now, but they're pretty simple to plant, so it wasn't too bad. I just took a couple breaks just up here in the garden, just sat on the stool, rest my back. I could do a lot of it sitting, so it actually wasn't too bad. I got everything labeled in there, and I watered everything in. Blessed be, friends. That's all I've got for you today. We'll see you on the next video.